too. Good to meet you.
So, you're a pan player?
I used to be.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
But now I'm more like a spectator, supporter of of pan in general.
So how long were you involved with Ebony in terms of participants or pan player?
I mean, my history. I mean, there's Ebony and there's pan.
Right. Okay.
You know, so I mean, we'll talk about like my involvement with Ebony.
Right. Okay. What's about
it goes back to 1982, 81 actually, when I joined Ebony. Ebony was a band where it's like, you know, there was in Paddington. They was under, you know, practicing under a church. Didn't have no chrome pans. It was like all sort of like old, sort of like oil drums, basically.
Yeah.
You know, now they look like instruments, but it's basically you're playing oil drums. And, yeah, it all started there, but it was about culture and it was about what, you know, being in England and what, you know, you remember about the Caribbean, about Trinidad or wherever you came from, was that part of culture. So I came up as a younger one who just sort of joined the people like my father and my uncles and all that, and a lot of people like P. Winston Joseph, you know, Roy K. James, you know, Randolph Baptiste, you know, to say a few, Earl Lewis as well, who they came up and the only thing that reminded them of home was like that steel band, you know, sort of thing. So they started that steel band, and then I just came up like the next generation after that, when the band was more, not only Ebony, but other bands were more established, where they were having competitions against each other as opposed to just, you know, playing gigs and stuff like that. So it was great to be part of that as a youth. And yeah, it was good, and that was my involvement. You know, I came in as a tenor player, and Randolph Baptiste was one of the persons who taught me to play tenor. I was picked one of the youngest, but that might be disputable because there could have been somebody younger before me who came.
There's always somebody to dispute it.
Yeah, but I'm not. You know what I mean? I don't know what's before me, but well, as I know, I was probably one of the youngest, one of the kids in Ebony as well. And it was nice. You know, you got a lot of admiration and all that for playing pan, especially from you know like Trinidadians, Caribbean things, exploring the culture. But and I think as well as that, it wasn't just about Ebony. There was other bands as well who had younger players. And because I remember being at Panorama in 1981, and there was a band like Lysando's Steel Orchestra, and they had young players as well. They were a kids band. So you know, back in the 80s and things like that, steel band competition was very vibrant as well. We also had things like CIP, Carnival Industrial Project, which was part of the government's YTS scheme.
I remember
where you taught people how to play. Yeah, so there was like a big push and a big sharing of culture back then. Now, you know, there isn't that much now. Do you know what I mean? It's you know, you don't get that now, but there is still. I mean, here is what you see, like the diehards.
Yes.
You know, out there as well. You know, there isn't much funding to say like, you know, people do with what they have, and still make it beautiful as well. You know, so you know, but you know, it's good. It's all good and it's all positive and all that. And I think another thing about Ebony, what I found as well, since I've stopped playing, it's something I didn't see before. But since I've stopped playing, what I've seen now is like just people who don't even play pan anymore. It's like the talent that came out of that. Do you know what I mean? And it is a kind of serious thing. Like I don't know, you know, like the pan. I don't know. I can't say troubled kids or anything like that. Yeah. But I think it gives a lot in the sense that, you know, it gives like what teamship, leadership, coordination, creativity, discipline. There's a lot of discipline too as well. You know what I mean? And I think it gives that. The great thing I think about is that it stimulates the creative side of it. It's great. Right. And I found that because what I found personally is that the people who play pan, or not only with Ebony, anybody who's ever played pan, when you look at what they're doing now, I see there's a whole collective of people who are they're singing. If they're not singing, they're doing this, they're doing that. They're doing something creative, rather than, you know, as opposed to the accountant. There's nothing wrong with that, because there's some other people who've gone on to that, being accountants and lawyers and things like that. So that's probably where the discipline comes in. So there is a lot you learn from it. There is a lot, you know. Pan is beautiful, man. Do you know what I mean? That's all I could say. Just playing it, being part of it.
So you say pan is beautiful. What makes it beautiful?
I think it's the ability for one to exercise that part of you. you know, everything, we all go to school and everything is mathematics. It's like 1 and 1 is 2 and 2 and 2 is 3 is 4. And then no matter what, people might have, you know, we all just might have problems at home as well. And there's that whole kind of, you know, that turn mill kind of thing, you know, you know, at least here you have somewhere where it's like, it doesn't matter what goes on out there. You have the ability to express yourself, to learn something creative as well, and manipulate it and do it in your way. And this is where it comes to like the gallery men in the band who could play their pan and they gallery around their pan. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and it allows people to do that. You know, with all the grind mill of, you know, exams or whatever else you're doing and all that. Do you know what I mean? It makes you be outside the box. You know, makes you be outside the box. And another thing as well, it's like you're working with people. Everything is a unit. Yes. As well, it's a hub, and people do want to be together. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not in like social Facebook and all that, but you're
actually together, unity.
But people,
face to face.
I mean, things
social
like
interaction.
these things like this and all that, it's brilliant. You know, and I've been able to say that because I've been part of it from small, grown up, seen other people come up in it. And then watch where they've gone with it, and something that I've found collectively is that people's been able to exploit their creative side. You know?
So, why do you think, and I was sort of biased asking a man that's part of Ebony, why Ebony is so successful, but I'm still going to ask it, why do you think Ebony's been so successful?
I think, you know, it ain't one thing about success. Right. Yeah? You know, so I even saying that, I don't know. You know, the magic potion, but one thing what I do know is that, what I do find is that Ebony gives people an avenue, to come and express yourself through music, pan music, creativity. Right. And I think as that as well, and it's a 24-hour, 7 days a week cycle sort of thing. Right. Do you know what I mean? It's somewhere where you could come, if it's what's going on at home, what's going on in your life, you could come here, you could, you know, be creative on your pan, you could do what, do you know what I mean? Learn something, you could be somewhere else. Yeah. And so I don't want to say it's one collective thing, but if you're asking me, like the band, Ebony, it's proud, you know, proud band, you know, and always been a proud band. And it's one thing I'd say with Ebony, I think that's always been there. There's this type of spirit. Yeah. Is that what it is about winning.
Absolutely. Yeah. We won so many titles.
And I'll say that first and foremost.
You know, I was a kid growing up. It was Ebony. Every time it's about Ebony. So, you know,
it's not about going out there and doing it your best and all that. It's about winning, and I think that might be the driver in Ebony. You know what I mean? That might.
But where do you think that came from? Because not every other band's got that.
I think it came. You know, with all due respect, I think it came from years and years of not winning Panorama. Right. Because everybody remembers Ebony's from the 90s. Right. But Ebony's been around since the 70s. Yeah. And I think I'm probably the wrong person to answer. I'm sort of commenting on something that before me. Yeah. But I don't think Ebony won a Panorama probably in the first 12 years or 10 years of coming out and competing in Panorama. Might be shorter, but we never won. And when I played with Ebony, the first year we came, I think, 4th.
What does that feel like? Wait, what does that feel like?
Huh?
What does that feel like? When you're playing your heart and soul, you're playing your heart and soul, yeah, this is sounding good, this is sounding good, must win, and you come 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, it happens, man, do you know what I mean? That's how it goes. That's not important. What's important was more sort of like going back and practicing the following year.
And coming back
not
stronger.
Not giving up and coming back stronger. And that's what Ebony did. Because in '82, we came back. And I think we came 2nd. Yeah, with the Chukon Pan running wild and Taurus Elsie. And then in '83, we came and we won. Right. Yeah, and in '84, I think we came 2nd. But that didn't stop us because there was a vibe in Ebony. There was this kind of like culture in Ebony. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was like a vent hole from Trinidad, talent from Trinidad and everything. Because we had some of the best players, not only from Trinidad, best players that came into Ebony. You know, and it goes to a lot of, afterwards, well, the management of the band as well, and it's maturing talent.
Now that's something you'll talk about, because you've got so many big characters in a band like Ebony. How do you keep all those egos in check and do all those things and ensure them to work together and still produce so well?
That's a good question. The funny thing about the egos is that the egos already, it's all entwined. So what you do find is like the people who are, like for example, the ranger, the manager, the captain, and all that. Yeah, they go back from small.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So you're talking about 25 year history.
Right.
So everybody knows each other.
Right.
As well. So, you know, so as for ego and thing like that, I don't think, I can't say there's ego. There isn't like that. There isn't, you know what I mean, Chief Bull or anything like that.
No Chief Buller.
Nah. What?
No Chief Buller. No
Chief Bull. But there is, you know what I mean, there is a lot of energy.
Right.
But as I say and all that, it's like the history of the band. And I think to ask that question, why does Ebony go up? It's got a lot of history. Ebony's got a lot of history as well.
Right.
You know, a lot of the players, especially like, you know, the manager Albert Frosted as well.
Yes.
You know, being around the band for like 20 odd years.
Yeah.
You know, you got Steve Lewis as well, whose father used to be captain of the band.
Right.
Well, he's one of the founders of the band as well.
Right.
To say that, and then was a captain. You know, he's been in the band probably, you know, 20 odd plus as well. Samuel and just quite a few others. Samuel, who's a ranger as well.
Right, yeah, of course.
Came through the band through like an academy.
We interviewed him early on. He spoke
As well.
about his journey, how he got
Yeah,
to
that's
where
how he came up. You know, he didn't just walk in.
Yeah.
He's got Ebony in his blood.
Yeah.
You know.
And people get
he
respect
came-
for that because they see
yeah.
you grow.
Yeah, and he came through the ranks, and now he's come right up. And now he's
Isn't that
actually
the best
a
way
ranger.
to be though?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's brilliant.
What would
You know?
happen if you come in straight from just another band, you're top man in one band, you come straight into another band? Do you think that loses its sort of feel, or?
I don't know. There's different views on that. You know, there's different views on that. But what I think is like it's pan. So is it for the progression of pan? I mean, you can't restrict somebody. It's like what type of music can they play and where they should play.
Right.
And so it's a kind of divided debate. Some people say yeah, but because you lot lost last year, now you want to come to the winning band. You want to win easy.
Yeah.
You know, so there is that kind of debate as well.
Right.
And then there's the debate of, well, hold on, wait a minute, you can't restrict somebody for playing pan. You know, if they want to come in here and they like this type of music, or they want to go elsewhere because they like that type of music,
Then
who are we to kind of say, no, you can't do that and close the door? So, you know, it's a, you know.
okay, the media, Carnival. Would you say that Carnival is represented in a fashion that is beneficial to a wide range of community, or would you say it's maybe marginalised and sort of?
I think Carnival is unrepresented in the media. I do think it's had a lot of bad publicity. However, in saying that, after 9/11 and all these, a lot of media things, it's like I kind of realised how much control there is on the media and how much the media is manipulated. So the fact that Carnival hasn't been on the media, you have to ask yourself why. Why is that? Why is it in the past it's never been highlighted? Why is it not a show on Sky Channel where you can watch the Carnival all day and watch the costumes? And do you know what I mean? Why is it not something like that? Why Coca-Cola isn't advertising in the Carnival?
But isn't
Do you know what I mean?
isn't that counterproductive? Because you're seeing unity, and you're seeing people jumping up together, black.
Well, no,
white,
you're seeing the
whatever.
revelers and all that. You're seeing like people who's out on the street.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when it comes to like the organisation of it,
Right.
do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, what is the organisation of it? What is it like? You know, so I don't think Carnival's portrayed in a way that it should be. However, yeah, I do believe through people like you know, Bootsy and these Mars people and all that, which Mars is coming on big. Playing a Mars in Carnival now, and I think Mars is overtaking that.
Right.
I think Mars and all that in Carnival is something going to be very big in the UK. You know, maybe then there might be the advertising, but I don't know how Carnival, the committee is organised internally, so I can't. I think there should be a lot more. You know, there could be a lot more that Carnival has to offer. I'm surprised I don't see Coca-Cola out there. I don't see ITV filming it. Should be something on ITV4.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But we were at a stage one time where we were coming up. And we could have been by that, but then we tend to go 2 steps forward, 1 step forward and 10 steps back. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is?
It's organisation, isn't it?
But I mean, look, every year the Carnival comes up, people know what long in advance is the Carnival coming up.
If you're not progressing, you're not being successful, so you can't keep doing the same things all the time and expect the same results.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So there's supposed to be, you need to get more organised, and it's not doing that. It's being on that same blueprint of how it should be and all that.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? And I think that's what the problem is. You know, it needs proper organisation. It needs to go into being rather than being a charity. It needs to be, you know, I don't know, PLC or something. Do you understand? Yeah, it needs to be a business. Do you know what I mean? It really does. You know, you got big sponsors. You got 2 million faces. You got 2 million people. You know, you got lampposts. You got all this. You could put up Coca-Cola signs. Do you know how much Coca-Cola pays BBC? Not BBC, ITV to advertise.
I have to, even a water company would be good.
Yeah, whoever. Do you know what I mean? But it's not. The point is that having an advertiser that, you know, but you know, it's not happening. So what you see is people who carry on like these people here. You know, here all the time, making the mask, coming back all the time and all that. But you don't get the rewards. Not that they do it for a reward. Yeah. But do you understand? We should be progressing a lot further than we are now. By organising ourselves.
From then, in the 70s, to now in 2014, what's the difference?
Now.
How's it evolved? What change do you think?
I think it came like that, and it went like that, and it was going up in the 80s and all that, and then it just came down and all that, and then since then, it's just struggling to get back up.
Well, why do you think it went down? What do you think it was that?
Well, I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know the main core, but I think like everything else, it's poor management, and not blaming people, but it's more experience. Do you know what I mean? People's experiences that people, so it's not blaming management. I mean, it's more sort of like the experience. Nobody really had any experience to what upon them, do you know what I mean? So then it all went pear-shaped.
So finally, 2014, what do you expect to see in 2014 that maybe you didn't see in 2013 or 2012? Because this is the 50th year, I believe, celebrating Carnival.
I'll tell you what I think. This is what I'd really like to see. Yeah. And I hope they've done it. And if they haven't done it, I hope they do it in 2015. Right. The stewards on the streets. Yeah. Yeah. And the security outside of the police on the streets. Yes. Should be local people. Yeah. Right. Should not be no outside security company or anything like that. It used to be like that, and they changed it. The reason why it's so important that it should be local people is they know the area. They could help. They could contribute to any emergency, anything. Right. Yeah. They know the place. Yeah. They're more organised as well. Yeah, and they're more proud. You're going to get a proud worker who's working for their community. So one thing I'd say with the security outside of the police, it should be local people doing the security. And I mean, that's one of the big changes. I would say that the immediate change I would like to see.
Wow. Wayne Lewis.
Pleasure.
Thank you for an excellent review.
No,
this is Wayne Lewis.
Thank you
very much. TV. We're out. Take care.
Thank you.